Good morning. It's time for our daily dose of good news. It is December 8th, and we are in Isaiah chapter 4, verses 2 through 6. And this is about the restoration of Jerusalem. And it's got lovely imagery about it. So enjoy. On that day, the branch of the Lord shall be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land shall be the pride and glory of the survivors of Israel. Whoever is left in Zion and remains in Jerusalem will be called holy. Everyone who has been recorded for life in Jerusalem, once the Lord has washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion and cleansed the bloodstains of Jerusalem from its midst by a spirit of judgment and by a spirit of burning. Then the Lord will create over the whole site of Mount Zion and over its places of assembly a cloud by day and smoke and the shining of a flaming fire by night. Indeed, over all the glory there will be a canopy. It will serve as a pavilion, a shade by day from the heat, and a refuge and a shelter from the storm and rain. Here ends the reading. Now there's multiple symbolic pieces in this text. The beginning talks about this branch of the Lord. And you may remember and recall in Advent we often talk about basically the shoot from Jesse coming off of the stump and the regrowth of what God would cause to flourish. So there's some nice intertwining there with some of the prophecies that we look at in the Advent season. And typically, you know that fruit is often symbolic of the way people know our Christian walk, the way they see our faith is by the fruit that comes out of it. And often that's used as a way to think about whether we're aligned with God. What is being born? What are we demonstrating to the world and to ourselves? What is being seen and perpetuated in us through God's care and blessing and growth? And then some other pieces that you may be less familiar with. One is there's talking of the Lord washing the daughters of Zion and cleansing the bloodstains of Jerusalem. And there were a lot of purification rites in biblical times where women after their menstrual cycles had to go apart from the community and do some ritual bathing in order to be viewed as clean and then restored to community. And so there's some symbolic pieces of that too, of the washing away and the cleansing to have community restored in a way that's healthy and whole for God. There's also a component of the cloud by day and the smoke. And in the Exodus, when the Israelites were led through the wilderness, you might remember that there was a cloud in front of them. There were pillars of smoke that directed them and that followed ahead of them and behind them. And it was God's way of surrounding them and leading them in the midst of their trials and tribulations as they wandered through the wilderness. And when they would go to the temple, often they would offer sacrifices, and those would billow up like a cloud to the heavens as they offered that in praise to God. So rich in symbolism here. And what does all of that mean for you? I think it's a chance to reflect on what cleansing is helpful, what purging is helpful, what needs to be removed or addressed in your life in order for you to be in full community with God and with Christian community. And Advent is a time of waiting and a bit of a time of quiet. And we're living in that these days with lots of quiet around us, less busyness, less running around. So it's an opportunity to reflect and to seek what God may want to purify in your life, what God may want to remove so that you bear fruit, and the branch of the Lord is beautiful and glorious. Enjoy the health and the wholeness and God's peace in all of that. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.